Welcome to the Lakeshow podcast. It's a weekly deep dive into the biggest stories and topics surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm Allie Clifton, joined by my Spectrum SportsNet co-host, Chris McGee, and our Laker insider, Mike Bresnahan, both of which have great earpieces in right now.
Yes, we do.
They're in great moods and great spirits.
And your personal earpiece is not with us.
For those that are in the broadcasting world, you get it.
Yeah.
Allie has like a corkscrew thing in her ear now, unlike these soft,
Little.
pliable ones that Geeter and I have, and it's you're not happy
But your
about it.
gear is nice. You got a cool hoodie. Brez has his Jib Summer Camp
Let's
shirt.
talk about
Jib
it.
Summer Camp.
What is Jib Summer Camp?
So I've always been fascinated by the Jib camera, which is the
Drops it in the shows at least 4 times a week.
and Nacho.
We can't hear you.
Oh. And I'm trying to show
First
the
time
shirt.
doing
Yeah, first time, guys.
podcasting?
Yeah. How about this? Anyway, you can kind of see the shirt. Thank you. You're like the director and the producer at the same time.
I am not. I will not.
I'm obviously like a rookie at this, even though we just had our 200th episode last week, 2 weeks ago. The Jib camera fascinates me. It's the one that kind of moves back and forth for the sways. Thank you, Keith, Jib operator.
You'll learn that at summer camp.
Yeah, you'll learn that at summer camp. And we made up this phrase, Jib Summer Camp.
Yeah.
And we got Nacho got T-shirts made, and here we are walking around with him.
Hang on a second.
I want to be a camera guy, is what it comes down to.
Nacho.
I've always wanted to be a camera guy.
Hang on. So wait,
Yes.
there's no summer camp happening?
No, there's no Jib Summer. Well, not yet.
Don't you always hear
Y'all
talk?
make T-shirts and it's not even happening.
we
Don't
don't
even
know.
put the Spectrum SportsNet, the Spectrum Networks logo on the sleeve.
Wait.
Well, we haven't got it approved yet.
Allie,
We're trying to
he
figure
always drops it in his shows like, hey, Brett, Nacho, Keith, whomever, like, did you guys, what do you guys do at Jib Summer Camp?
Yeah,
You guys hang
exactly.
out and like
Yeah.
get excited? And they're like,
Yeah.
dude, you're a weird bro. And now they made shirts.
Now we got Jib Summer Camp shirts.
He's
But there's
literally
no
infatuated
summer
with-
camp. This is fascinating.
Not yet. It's
Do you remember that one time at band camp?
I actually went to band camp.
You did not.
That is a whole another episode.
That is.
I feel
did not know that.
major judging going
That
on right
was-
now.
What
We
instrument?
listen and we don't judge.
What instrument?
Jib Summer Camp. What?
What instrument?
I didn't. It was a joke.
Oh,
However, if you could play a band instrument,
Yeah.
we will get right back on track.
Saxophone.
To Lakers basketball because it's been great. What would you play? Saxophone?
Yeah.
What about you?
Good call.
You look like a flute guy.
I'm gonna just stay out of this one because I have so many places to go right now with this. But I'm gonna,
A trombone? The tuba?
dude.
The tuba.
Could you
I
imagine?
play the
Gator?
jazz flute.
Oh, wait, it's a real thing.
Jazz flute.
Mr. Burgundy, will you play the
Yeah.
jazz flute?
Just like Ron Burgundy.
Yep.
Wait, I don't know what that means.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
It's often a dead end when.
But
it
you
comes
do
to
know what
pop
that one time
culture.
at band camp comes from, right? What movie?
American Pie.
There
Nice.
you go.
Nice. She's back. She's
That should tell you everything you need to know. When it comes
You're so back.
to Allie.
Yeah. Stifler's mom.
When is Jib Summer Camp, though? Let me know the dates. I'll
Okay.
bring the party.
Okay, cool. We're gonna make it happen. Nacho, let's book something in Vegas. Allie's paying for it. That's great.
Oh, we're going to Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah, for Jib band camp.
Yeah, Jib Band.
Jib summer camp. Sorry.
I said it too.
Off
You guys
the
are acting like the
rails.
Lakers are on a 4-game losing streak. They've
I
won
know.
some games.
I was about to say, let's get this show back
Yeah.
on the road, not to Jib Summer Camp. Great T-shirts, though.
Yeah.
Back-to-back wins after that 0-4 road trip, to your point, Geeter. You guys talked about it at the top of the show, which, by the way, thank you so much. I stand in the media room, and then I take that information and I walk into the locker room, and I usually utilize that with players that I get to interview. Instead, you text me and say, what's going on in the game?
Oh, when I'm at the games, I always text Allie, give me a theme. What's going on over
Give me
there?
a theme.
I don't know. When I don't have
Host the
stats
post-game
around
show
me and I'm
and-
not listening to the game, it's, you got your own little, when you're watching, it's different than when you.
It is kind of cool. Like, we'll say something right away on the postgame show in the first 5 minutes, and then 20 minutes later, one of the reporters repeats this really cool stat that is probably unique to our first 5 minutes. It's like, oh, that's cool. They're using what we just talked about on the air.
You know what I
Reporters
love?
definitely have their own minds, but I feel like, sometimes it happens.
You know what I loved to that point?
What's that?
Is the interview you guys did with Austin.
Yeah.
So when Dan Wojcicki asked Austin a question in the locker room last night, he was like, oh, I assume you weren't listening when I was talking to the studio.
AR said that?
He
That's
said that
cool.
to Dan Wojcicki.
That's
yeah.
cool.
It was about...
All I cared about was that he shot a 67. That's really the only thing I got
that's-
out of that interview, and I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
It's sublime right
That's
there.
ridiculous.
It's crazy.
I believe it was maybe the conversation playing off Luka,
Yeah.
which is where we're going. Just the offense around Luka. The 34 assists, which was a season high. 19 of 48 from deep. 48 threes attempted. But Austin, let's kind of start there. His last 4, 31 a game, 53% from the field, 43% from deep, just under 7 boards, 7 assists. The national narrative right now is he is, or is he the best third option, not for the Lakers, in the NBA?
Do you guys feel like they're stealing that from us? We were talking about that months ago.
I feel like it. Yeah.
People, no, I'm saying they're just catching up now.
Ripping from us.
They're just catching up now. But I guess.
Are you being Charles Barkley?
No, I'm just saying like it gets legs. I think, but we've been hammering away at that for a long time.
I agree.
About it.
It reminds me of like when he had his coming out party against Memphis in the first round a couple years ago in the playoffs. And everyone's like, oh my God, this guy Austin Reaves is so good.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, we've been watching him for a couple years. We already know that. We're aware of that. But
that's a good point.
Sometimes it takes a while for the national
Bill Simmons brought it up too
broadcasters.
recently, so that got attention. And I mean, he's playing awesome. It's funny because he had a few bad games for him. That Brooklyn game was brutal. I think we said it last night on air. Like he never has excuses. He said, I got to be better. I'm playing terrible, but he doesn't panic, and nobody else panics around him because they all know what he can do. And it's just part of being an athlete. You're going to have bad stretches. He always responds, and when he responds in a big way. So it's pretty awesome to see him kind of navigate a season, and especially like now that he's taken it to this upper echelon elite level. Because I don't know, after those few games, everyone's like, I hope he's okay next to Luka and LeBron. And now he's like dominating again, and just doing whatever he can to help a team win. That's what he does. Whatever can to help a team win.
There's the efficiency, the shot making. There's he needs to become a spot up 3-point shooter, obviously, playing off of guys like LeBron. The way he's shooting the three ball, there's the IQ. The thing that is so impressive to me, and I was thinking of a question last night, actually, and it just kind of the opportunity passed me by, but his handles.
I was just going to say that too. It's crazy.
It's insane.
Ridiculous.
When you watch him slow motion or in replays, it's like, wow, he's elite at that part of his game.
I think it has completely separated himself and taken his personal game in the way he's actually out, to your point of navigating. I mean,
if you're a mediocre defender, Brez, like if you're a mediocre defensive team, he will cook you, right? Like if you're
on skates, right away.
The elite teams that have the athletic that can defend him differently and be physical, he's got to find different ways to score. But if you are a medium team, he is going to cook you.
I was thinking about this yesterday. Just as a pure point guard, we know he's a combo guard, mostly a shooting guard who likes to dish out assists. As a pure point guard, I would say he's probably better right now than a third of the starting NBA point guards. Just throwing that number out there. There's some out there that are not having good years, maybe. But I'd already put him as point guard alone. I don't know, 18th, 19th, without even thinking about it, Allie. He's that good, just distributing and doing what he does when he's in that mindset of I got to set up my guys here.
Let's hear what Luka had to say about Austin.
I mean, this guy just scored 30 in his 4 games in 5 days. That explains everything. But he's an amazing player. For him to go undrafted is unbelievable. And, it's not easy to go undrafted and then play at this level. And it's amazing just to be by his side.
It's like when D'Lo came here, Luka, when he made the USA team and played for Kerr, those guys, when you get to play with them just a little bit, or you see the stretch, you're like,
big deal.
He's different than I thought.
Who's also another interesting one that spoke in the locker room last night? Jordan Goodwin.
Yeah.
When asked about what it's like playing alongside of him, and he brought up, I've played against him for the last 2 years, having to guard him.
Yeah, so I'm well aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
really good quotes coming out about AR. And by the way, AR hates talking about himself.
That's
you can
true.
ask him about anything else. He'll give you a really good, deep, well-thought, and humorous answer sometimes.
I was actually thinking about that when we were interviewing him last night.
Right.
Were you? I don't know if you were. I was like, because I had that first question, I tried to throw in Luka too, but I wanted to say like, hey, he's averaged 30 over his last 4, but would I give him his flowers? But I know he doesn't care about that. So it's more about winning.
He diffuses so quickly if you ask him about a 35-point game he just had. It's like, he's kind of like the quarterback, always crediting the offensive line. That's AR. Jackson Hayes made me look good with all those lob dunks. LeBron was on fire from 3 tonight. Those guys did all the work. He hates talking about his own accomplishments. Which I like. I appreciate that.
Unless you ask him about his golf game.
That's a totally different thing. Yeah, then he's going to share that info for you.
Yeah.
Then you saw the smile.
It's funny. I always think, like, does he need to get stronger? Or does he need to get more in the weight room? Yep. And he takes so much abuse, physicality. Like, guys are crushing him in the face. But, man, and that's one thing I think JJ talked about months ago. He's so much tougher than he thought he was coming in, just from the outside perspective. Like, he's a pretty tough dude.
I think the only time you just think about when he goes up against the elite size guards,
Yeah.
most notably like a Boston.
That's where he has to change his game, right?
That's
like,
where
you
it
see
becomes
him,
different, a little
That's
bit
what I
different,
mean.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're just a kind of a whatever middle of the road defender that doesn't care about defense, he is going to absolutely go off.
Yeah. Luka added
You
in
have to be physical with him, right? Like, you have to be in front of him because he will find ways to drive you
He'll
crazy.
eviscerate you.
Get fouled.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Loves going to the line. Loves it.
Yeah.
It's
Only
funny.
one free
Luka
throw.
got the calls last night, right? The last two games, Luka's gotten the calls.
going to the
And
line.
AR only went to the line.
Thank
one time.
God.
Yeah.
I want them to call for Luka every time.
Yeah.
He makes me nervous when he talks.
He's pretty incredible. I'm
That's
sure
one
about the
thing
good
I've been
yeah.
told from some Dallas friends, colleagues over
Yeah.
there is that he's aware of, like, for example, when he got that tech on Sunday versus the Suns, he's aware when he gets his first tech, and he knows the threshold more
Okay.
times than
So
not.
he doesn't get kicked out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that made me feel better because as we're just getting to learn him a little bit more,
Yeah.
because
You know,
just his value. And
It's funny you say that. The Brooklyn game was just one of those games. I think he was so frustrated, right? It came after the Boston game, which was a physical game where they came back, had a chance he wasn't getting calls in that game, if I recall. But the Brooklyn game, he was just, everyone was on, they were coming back, and then the Lakers were down. It was a game he kind of had to win, and he was on edge that game, you could tell. And he just was getting crushed with no calls. And that really sent him into a different kind of, because we talked about it on the air the last time we were in this show. We talked about, like, are you concerned about?
Yeah.
And I'm not, like, concerned that he's not getting whistled. I think he will. I was more concerned that, if he continues down this road, is he going to affect the way he plays? But it really doesn't. He plays the way he plays.
Yep. Obviously, a great team win. 6 players in double figures. Luka adding 21, 9, and 14. Goodwin had 15, 3 of 6 from deep, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, doing a little bit of everything.
I was
Dalton
on the
adding
good-
13.
I was on the Goody train last night at work. Couldn't stop
Goody
talking about it.
train.
Yeah,
What a pickup.
it's easy to be on that train.
What a
the way he
great
plays, yep.
midseason pickup for these guys to sign him to a two-way deal after he spent probably over 2 months with the G League team. 9 games with them in January. It's not like he just
What was he
floated in.
doing in the G League?
Right? And this is
I'm
not,
saying, like, was he lighting it up? I don't even know, like, what he was doing.
I think like 16 points a game.
That's what I mean. Like, was he
No,
locking guys down?
It's a good rhetorical question, too.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you look at him, he's played for, I believe, 4 teams in his 4 or 5 years in the league. Don't quote me on that. And to see him do what he's doing now, after some more G League seasoning, after, I'm sure at some point, it's because obviously South Bay Lakers front office, led by Joey Buss, Nick Mazzella, they talk to the Lakers front office quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're like, hey, take a look at this guy. He could probably help you. And boom, it's pretty good collaboration right there. And he's done great.
When you think back to, like, the Cavs teams you covered, right, or those Warriors teams, or you think back to the great Laker teams, right, there's always, like, it's about fit.
Yeah.
And, like, players that fit with a great system that can help you win games, right? Like, Kobe needed certain guys around him, the Kobe and Shaq teams, right? That's why they're successful. Same with the Cavs teams. Like, I don't know what Goodwin looks like in a G League game, but I know what he looks like in an NBA game.
Yeah.
Like, he will play tough. He'll just make scrap winning plays. He's going to take charges. He's going to get on the ground. He's going to get a steal. He's going to hit a 3.
Egoless.
He's a nice piece. He's going to wear a mask, so you don't really know what he looks like, which is kind of like a cool
Seen
little
him
thing
once
he's got
without the
going
mask.
on.
Yeah.
I really like him. I really like him.
And I'm told, this is his 4th team. He played for the Wizards, Grizzlies, and Suns. So
Did you find out how many days he
has?
has left? Was that did we get a wrong report, or do we know?
Yeah, I don't
even want to say it if we don't know. Something like that.
We need to figure it out because it might be prorated from when he signed as a two-way player. It's right around midseason, so maybe shorter than the 50. We did figure out, this was a few weeks ago, like, okay, the two-way player is such a big part of the NBA now. Was not this way 10-plus years ago when it was first invented. When Caruso came up through the league, he was the first 2-year two-way player. But you're allowed 50 appearances. I'm sorry, 50 suit-ups. So if you don't play in a game and you're suited up, that counts as one of your 50 games, so to speak. So, Koloko, a few times he has suited up and not gotten into the game. That counts towards your 50.
So because I'm kind of waiting for that day that comes where they say this is happening and he's going to be part of the team. Because I don't, and I'm not calling him Caruso or obviously Reaves, but when I watched those guys first play with the Lakers, I said those guys are players.
Yeah,
they can win you games. I feel that way about him.
Yeah.
And I like the NBA saying, used to be one two-way player, then became two two-way players. Now you can have three. And I like this a lot. I think it's a really good move by the NBA to get these guys who are kind of on the fringe, a little bit more cash geek, and get them involved more in the NBA games. 50 is actually a pretty big number, considering obviously 82-game season.
15 games remain in the regular season. Lakers sitting at 4th in the West right now, 42-25. They're 27-7 at home, and they've got 3 games left to finish out this homestand this week. Quick thought before we wrap up this segment. Nuggets, Bucks, and Bulls to finish things out. Denver resting Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic despite the career
winning.
night 38 from Aaron
On the
Gordon
road.
last night against
Yeah,
Golden State.
unbelievable.
What are you guys thinking of these final 3 of this homestand?
All 3 teams
What
care.
you'd-
Chicago's trying to get some good play-in positioning. I figured they might be out of it after trading Zach LaVine, but no, they're still in it. I mean, they're 9th in the East, and so these teams care. Obviously, Denver and Milwaukee care more because they're fighting for top 4 stuff.
Yeah, Nuggets and Rockets are 1 game up on the Lakers, so that's a big game.
I wonder, too, just given how shorthanded and how great that game was in Denver on Friday, how much that motivates or changes anything. Probably being a little healthier
Yeah,
going into that
I think
one.
it does, definitely, and being a home game. But, yeah, I mean, obviously the Lakers want to get all 3. I think you're okay with 2 and 1 for sure, but depending on the 2. But you would love all 3 of those
Right.
before you hit that road, because that road's going to be at Orlando, at Indiana. There's a couple little sneaky back to Chicago, some tough ones in there. You come home, you got the Rockets.
Teams that care that maybe you thought wouldn't really care.
It's a tough schedule.
Yeah.
So as many wins as you can, book them.
Yep.
Man,
I agree.
they do. You got the Bucks at Warriors tonight.
I'm just happy to
correct?
play those teams, Allie, with
That
more
helps.
bodies, because
Yeah.
I feel like they could have beat both those teams if they were healthy when they played the back-to-back on the road.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100% I do.
Yeah.
Even without LeBron, I think they would have split one of those. Obviously with LeBron, who knows?
Right.
But if they're just healthy without LeBron, I think they're going to win. They're going to win some games, and they could have won. Absolutely could have won one of those.
Good news also, they're 2/3 the way through this 6 games in 8 days shenanigans. So that's
I'm ready to put that behind
good.
us.
Yeah, right. Unbelievable. Rarely, Allie, it's been since 2011 the last time they played this many games in such a short amount of time. It's crazy.
Strike season.
Yep, strike shortened season.
15 games to go in the regular season.
just out of
Playoffs
Toledo.
begin. And then we're on our way to Jib Summer Camp.
Let's go.
See you there. Lakeshow fans, remember you can be a part of the show
Vegas.
each week.
Nacho.
Feel free to send us your questions and comments.
Keith.
We'd love to hear from you. We're going to take a quick break. When we
Fernando,
return,
Peter
we'll
Allen,
get
me.
into a round of By the Numbers with Brett.
You get to pick your different classroom. Oh, Keith's in classroom 1A. You got Brett.
Welcome back to the Lakeshow Podcast. If you're enjoying the show, you can check out more original podcasts from our Spectrum News journalists in the Spectrum News app. Just head to the podcast section to listen to the latest episodes. You can download the Spectrum News app on the App Store or Google Play. All right, it's time now for By the Numbers with Brez. You got some numbers. You're going to walk us through 3 of them. Do I need to lead you into these, or do you have them memorized?
You know what? I think I have them memorized.
Okay, but
you
I'll
know,
be here in case you need.
It's kind of like the
I'm a great
3-point
team
play.
player.
Like you're
Oh,
always
3-point
there
player.
for me, and I appreciate
I
that.
got you.
You too as well.
Yeah.
But
Who does a better job? Just kidding.
Well, that's a good question. I do it more with you because
Were
geeks.
you listening to me?
No, I missed the
You
whole
weren't
thing.
listening. Gosh.
I was
How that really backfired to you.
I was putting on my story.
Oh, were you on your phone? Were you
Yeah.
on your phone?
Yeah, I was all over Allie for being on her phone earlier for 40 minutes that we were all in the makeup room. But sorry.
Allie was pretty focused.
Good friend of mine's son was National Player of the Week, men's volleyball in college. So I put on the.
Hit us with the numbers, Brett.
All right. It's funny. This is my favorite one right here. Okay, the over-under in most sports books, that's gambling houses to you, Allie, for the Lakers' wins this season was 43. They're at 42 with 15 games left. Think they'll get there, Geet? I have a feeling they're going to be. I think they're going to hit that. They might even hit 50 at this point. They should hit 50. Another number I like, Lakers 16-2
Hello.
when Jackson Hayes plays since late February. Late January, excuse me. January 30th.
My birthday.
Your birthday?
Yep, since January 30th. My birthday.
Yeah, that's a good stat, too.
No one cared.
And finally,
Cares. Except all y'all that ate a really good dinner that night. You're welcome.
oh, nice. No, I was at the arena. I missed out on the good times. Damn it.
And number 3.
And number 3, Lakers 7-3 on the second night of a back-to-back. I just love this stat. You and I talked about on the 3-point play before last night's game. To me, this represents championship material when you have the depth, you have the talent. You know, second nights are tough. Obviously, you're tired. You know, maybe you're a little irritated from a loss the night before, or maybe you're a little overconfident from a win the night before. Second nights are tough. 7-3. That's among the league leaders. That's impressive.
Nice work. What are you laughing at me for?
Well done, Brez.
Has
I
he
didn't really
carried
need
us?
you.
Thanks for staying on
Appreciate
track.
that. though.
Brez, thanks for listening
He did carry us.
to the host.
He talked. We kind of rushed you through that
That's right.
because
It worked.
you know when you guys surprised me with your little trivia games? We
Oh,
got
yeah?
one for you, Peter, okay?
Ooh.
Listen up, sir.
Is this for Geeter
This is
alone?
going to be fun, all right?
I
We're
know.
going to have
Barely
a
paying- I'm
round.
barely paying attention.
Well,
whatever you
good.
do.
We're just starting the segment, so you're just fine.
Where's
We're going to
the
have a
music?
round
Dun, dun,
of
dun, dun.
blind rankings
dun, dun.
of Lakers' third stars,
Ooh.
okay, over the years. So I'm going to give you a name, and you're going to give them a ranking where you place them 1 through 5. The only thing here is that you won't know who will be included on the list as you make your ranking,
It's tough.
okay?
It's tough.
And once you place a player with a ranking, you can't change it.
Matt Leinart does this
Are you ready?
a lot on his Instagram. It's fascinating. Not
You
with
got
the
3
Lakers
minutes. We
necessarily.
got 5 players, so let's roll
Yeah, I
through
like
it.
this. Okay.
First guy, Austin Reaves. This is for you, Geeter.
Oh,
Just
it
for
is.
you.
Sorry. What am I supposed to do? Pick 1 through 5?
I hate you so much right now. 1 through 5 blind ranking of
Okay.
third stars over the years. Lakers.
I'll go with 4.
1 is the best.
Yeah.
Okay. You're putting Austin Reaves at 4.
Uh huh.
Okay. Robert Ory.
I know where Allie would put him.
2.
Right at 5.
Jamal Wilkes.
Ooh.
I know who my 1's going to be
How do you know who's on the list?
because I just assume that I assume who I mean,
Okay.
I'm just
This is who
assuming
you
I've
would
got,
pick. Okay.
yeah, I just feel
You've
like
already figured it out.
figured out
for the
some
most
names.
part.
I'm thinking of championship teams.
Got
so
it. Okay.
I'm going to go,
Just not going to be easy because you guys have won a lot here. Okay.
yeah, Jamal Wilkes. I'm trying to think of Silk. I'm thinking Silk in a Laker uniform, not the Hall of Famer. I'll put him at 3.
Okay. Lamar Odom.
Damn, I had a feeling Lamar was going to
yeah.
be there.
I don't know if they go Lamar or Powell, but Lamar makes sense as a 3.
Yeah. I'll go Lamar 5.
Who do you think number 1 is?
It's got to be Big Game James,
Okay.
or else this game's stupid.
So good.
I'm just saying the game is
You're
stupid.
so
Nailed it.
good.
If
Nailed
it's
it.
not James Worthy,
Do you like your list?
I do.
It's pretty good.
Man, I love all those people personally. Lamar was so good. I'd have to slide Lamar to 4 and Austin to 5 just because of the titles. Like, unless, you know, I don't. But Austin's work, here's the deal. It's unfair to Austin to be doing it after 4 years and say he's 5th. So, I don't
He's
know.
so new to the game. as
Yeah,
a
we'll
third
see.
star.
Like,
I'm
if
okay
he's
with
here,
putting
in
Austin
10
5.
years, Austin
Yeah.
could be moving on up.
Right.
But right now, that list is absolutely nailed.
Good list. And good job putting Lamar down because you left spot. Left
Yeah,
spot
because I
for
knew James was
Brent
going to have
James.
to be.
Well, I was just going to say, like, that's just because he actually used his brain for that segment. So he knew ahead of time.
I didn't understand the game at first, but once I started playing, guys, you know I'm going to
Yeah,
win.
you
the game.
nailed it.
I'm not going to lose it. Come on.
It's a Crespi education.
Who would you have taken in a foot race between Trudell and I, me with heels on?
Now, would you have had to race him in heels
Yes.
and he's in his normal shoes?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Allie, but
Trudell, right?
I'm
Who
just saying.
are you?
Okay, listen.
Why was that
listen.
so easy for you?
You're in heels.
How
you're
much
in
time we got? We
heels.
got 1 minute. This is great.
That's-
What
You're
got your
in
panties in a
heels.
bunch
I don't
presented
think
by
that's
Skims?
not a fair race. I mean, you're in
Like,
heels.
do you practice
Can you run
running in your
fast in
heels?
heels?
Do you know me? I
mean, you're
actually
a
got
com-
so offended last night when Trudell looked at me acting like he could smoke me.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, bro,
I just don't want like the ACL going out with
Right.
the heels. Isn't it a hard like? What if it breaks and then you're down?
The Lakers wouldn't like.
I
that
don't
on the
want
court.
that.
you're such a guy that
And
looks at
shoes,
life
in
with
shoes, and
a
you and
glass
Trudell, I'm
half
going to go
full.
with you. Heels?
What about
Who are you taking in that race?
Myself. And don't
100-yard dash in heels?
all day.
Do you practice this
Yeah.
like in your street?
You guys got 15
And by the way, you
seconds
can't
to
get
say whatever
physical
you
with him
want
like
to
throw
say.
him to the ground and then win. You have to like race fair.
Yeah,
We didn't put
you
any
can't
rules
chop
on
block
this.
him.
I didn't need you coming in with your blind ranking energy.
Are you
We're
upset
gonna
that
run
I
that
did a
back.
good job
Thanks
in
to
the
all
blind
you for
ranking?
listening to the
You actually
Lakeshow
kinda nailed
podcast.
it.
Weigh in and let me know who you would take, Trudell or myself in heels. If you like what you hear, leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast app. We want to hear from you. Send us your questions. Hit us up on X at Real Allie Clifton, at Geeter3, at Mike_Bresnahan. Until next
Allie
week,
hates us.
you're welcome.
Did you know there's a new way to watch your favorite team, and it's available exclusively to Spectrum customers this season? You can watch Lakers games on Spectrum SportsNet Plus with the NBA app on us when you add internet and at least one mobile line. This offer is a slam dunk total value of $194.99. To learn more, head to spectrum.com/getlakers.